ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तम् तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। So far we have done 75 classes. How many sutras you would have seen?
135, I guess.
135. Do you remember all the sutras?
Yeah, 139. Yeah.
140.
140. Okay, automate. We'll show the number now. It is there. Do you remember, or you have any doubts in any sutras?
No doubt.
No doubts. Okay. We will do a quick revision of the sutras what we have seen. Quick revision itself will take one full class. Just we'll go through all the sutras, whatever we have seen. The last class, after the class, I thought, okay, we'll do a quick revision. If Parvatiji was there, good Parvatiji having some problem, I think, tooth problem, she's not coming. So, because in the last class, I asked this question about this Dasanya, Parasanya, something. So then I realized, okay, let us have a quick revision because we are just moving forward, not going. We go back and forth. Sometimes we refer to the previous sutras by asking questions referring to the previous sutra, discussing that. It's good to have a quick revision. Okay, so you can answer. Anybody can answer, okay? Or otherwise I will ask.
Okay.
First we have seen Sanya Sutra. The order of sutras what we have seen. First Sanya Sutras. What is Sanya? Sanya is a name, right? The name or title. The word Sanya is not used by Panini Maharishi, but we know it is Sanya is It's a name. The sanya can be either a akritrama sanya or kritrama sanya. Like a guna, vriddhi, all these are the words which are there. The language it is there. Whereas gu sanya, t sanya, all those are kritrama sanya, artificial sanya. Kritrama is artificial. Akritrama is natural. Guna is a word, but here guna in the Vyakaranam context, guna means it's a technical name, doesn't mean the Trigunatmika, Sattva Rajas Guna. That is not the meaning here. It doesn't have that meaning at all. Guna also means a rope. That is not the meaning here. Guna is a technical term, maybe used by the Purva Acharya, Guna, Vritti, etc. So those are called Sanya. So Sanya Sutras we saw first, few sutras. In fact, many Sanyas are there. We have not covered all the Sanyas. Whenever the context comes, we will cover the Sanya Sutra. Sanyas are important because we operate the sutra or we read the sutra with the help of knowing what the sanya, what the backed up by the knowledge what the technical term the sanya means. Because the sutra uses the sanya, and the sanyas are defined before or before, or it is defined in many places, not only in before means in the first chapter. First chapter mainly, the first section, you will see many sanyas, and also the sanyas are covered in other sections also. Wherever the context comes, the sanyas are introduced. For example, in the fourth chapter, last sutra is Parasannikarsha Samhita is a sanya. Similarly, the sanyas are there in other chapters also, later chapters also, sanyas are there. So sanyas are scattered, but you will see mainly Sanya Sutra, in most of Sanya Sutras. In the first chapter, first section, you will see most of the Sanya Sutras. First chapter is there, and first chapter is first section, then second, the third also, Atpanipadam, Parasapadam, all these are Sanyas. Ita Sanya is there in third section, first chapter. Similarly, in the fourth chapter is an important chapter in the sense that Eka Sanya Adhikara, it is where the Sanyas are given, where the a word can enjoy only one Sanya, where only one Sanya is ordained. It cannot enjoy two Sanyas. Arkadarat Eka Sanya, like Basanya, etc. Anga can have Basanya, either Basanya or Pratipadika Sanya, cannot have both. So that is covered. In the second chapter also, Sanyas are covered. Samasa Sanyas are there. So therefore, the Sanyas are there in many places in the Ashtadhyayi. Most of the sutras in the first chapter, first section are Sanya Sutras. Sanya Sutras and Paribhasha Sutras also. Paribhashas also are there. So Sanya Sutras, we have the knowledge of Sanya Sutras important. Then the Paribhasha Sutras important. With the help of both, if you read a sutra, you will understand what it means. Then Sanya Sutra, Paribhasha Sutra, then comes the Sandhi Sutra. Sandhi Sutrani, important. And Sandhi Sutras, we know, it is there in the sixth chapter, first section, Samhitayam Adhikara. The word Samhitayam occurs in three places as an Adhikara. Two places an Adhikara, in other places, in another one place it is there. There it is goes as Anuvritti. it is in the 6th chapter, Samhitayam, Adhikara is there. And in the 6th chapter, 3rd section also Samhitayam is there. And 8th chapter, the last sutra, Samhitayam, from last sutra onwards, process anuvritti up to the end of the Ashtadhyayi. So at 3 places, Samhitayam is there. So Samhita sutras are covered in those sections. And Paribhasha in the 1st chapter, 1st section. Then after that, we started the Subanta Sutrani. Subanta is a long, it's a big topic. It has got many many sutras, because we have Ajanta Halanta division for all the lingas. So it's a big section. So it will take more time to cover Subanta. So it will go for many classes. Maybe 50, 75, even 100 classes it will go. So 100 classes will be Subanta only. After that only, Tinganta and other topics will come, Vedanta, etc. Now, to proceed further, we should remember what we have studied. That's why we can have a revision of what we have seen so far. And in the Sutra Suchi, you can see the list of sutras. There, the sutras are listed in a way that there is some connection to the following sutra. You can see the connection. Sanyas are introduced before the Dvividi Sutra, and Paribhashas are introduced before the Dvividi Sutra. So the following sutra can be understood only when the preceding sutras are understood. So that is the connection. The first sutra, Sanya Prakaranam, first sutra, Mukhanasika Vachanonu Nasikaha 118. It is in the first chapter, first section, 8th sutra. It defines what Nasika is, Anunasika is. Anunasika, Mukhanasika, Vachanonu Nasika, nasalized nasal letters. Mukhanasika, Vachanaha. So Anunasika, what is Anunasika? That Mukha is this is the vocal organ. Mukha, Kanta, Talu, Murda, etc. Nasika is nasal. So therefore, Mukhanasika, Mukhanasikaya, Vachanaha. Mukhanasikaya. Vachanam is Pullinga. Here Mukhanasika, Vachanaha, Anunasikaha is there. So it is a samasa. Anyway, samasa part we are not going to see now. So it is Mukhanasikaya, Vachanaha, Mukhanasika, Vachanaha. So it is Mukhanasika is Mukhena Sahita, Mukhasakita. Mukhasakita Nasika, Mukhanasika. Mukhanasikaya Vachanaha, Mukhanasika Vachanaha. Here the Vachana, the word is used in Pullinga. So in Sutra you can use, it's not the problem. So it is Tritiya Tat Purusha Samasa. Mukhanasikaya Vachanaha, Mukhanasika Vachanaha. That which is pronounced, articulated through the mukha. Mukha is the mouth, along with the nose. It's called Anunasika, Mukhanasika, Vachanaha, Anunasika. So Anunasika Sanya. That is 118. The next sutra is Vibhaktischa. What is Vibhaktischa?
All Supanting. That's
Yes.
called vibhakti.
All sup and ting. See the sutra pata 14104. So first is Mukhanasika Vachanasika, which is 118. You can see in this section many sutras we have seen. Vriddhi Radhej, Ade Gunaha, Iko Guna Vriddhi, we are going to see. Na dhatu lopa adadhatu ke iticha dhi vevitam alonantra sanyoha vino. Then Mukhanasika Vachanono Nasikaha. Then Tulyasa Prayatnam Savanam Najjalo. So we know the first two sutras, Sanya Sutra, Vriddhi and Guna. Then 7, 8, 9, 10, we know. In between sutras also we are going to see. It is going to be covered later. Now 14108. There you see this Vibhaktischa. One 4108. There it is many sanyas are there. Ekavachanam, Divachanam, Bhagavachanam, all these are sanya. And Prathama Purusha, Madhyama Purusha, Uttama Purusha, what is Parasmay Padam, Atmane Padam, everything is defined in this section. Starting from 1499 up to 14105. Now 104 is Vibhaktischa, for which the Anuvritti is Supaha. Supaha Vibhaktischa. Sup is called Vibhakti. Supaha also gets a Sanya Vibhaktischa. Supaha Vibhaktischa. Then 101 on, from 101, Tingaha also comes as Anuvritti. So Ting and Sup. Ting and Sup. The Ting Pratyaya. Ting means Ting Pratyayas. Sup means Sup Pratyayas. The word, the Ting and Sup itself is a Pratyahara. The word Ting and Sup itself is a Pratyahara. Therefore, we should know what Pratyahara is. But anyway, it's going to come later. Pratyahara Sutrani. So they are called Vibhakti. Ting and Sup are called Vibhakti. So Vibhakti is a Sanya. Vibhaktischa. So Ting Pratyayas. Trini Pratama Madhyam Uttamaha. Tani Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bhagavachanani, Anekashaha. All these are defined. The Pratyayas are given the Sanya. The Trini, then Ekavachana, it is Pratama Purusha Ekavachanam. It's a Sanya. That is also known by the name Vibhaktihi. Therefore, Vibhaktischa. Similarly, Sup also. Sup is Pratama Vibhakti. It is Pratama. It is Pratama Vibhaktihi and Ekavachana. It is Pratama Vibhakti. And it is Ekavachanam, therefore Vibhaktihi. Vibhaktischa is a Sanya. The word Vibhaktihi, you will see that in the Na Vibhaktau Tusmaha, it is used Vibhaktau. So to know Na Vibhaktau Tusmaha, you should know what is Vibhakti. So Vibhaktischa is a Sanya. Then after that, Adarshanam Lopaha, which is, what is Adarshanam Lopaha?
Lopaha means it's not seen. It's present, but we can't see it. That's called lopaha.
Yes, not Adarshanam. Not Adarshanam, not Shravanam. That's called Adarshanam. Adarshanam. Adarshanam, not seen, not tangible, not available for your perception. So not seen means not heard. Not, you can bring in Nashravana because when you speak, the words are heard. So therefore it is not heard. And when you write, it is not there, it is not seen, Adarshana. That is known by the word Lopaha. So Lopaha is a technical term. We may give a Vyutpatti for Lopaha. Lupyate iti Lopaha. The word, the dhatu, lup is there. The dhatu, lup. So lupyate iti lopaha also vyutpatti is can be given. But here lopaha, it's a sanya. It's a sanya, it's a technical word. So adarshanam lopaha. In fact, the word lopaha means adarshanam. And there are other words by which also lopa is possible. Like you'll see later. Look, shlu, look. So all these are, there is another word, shlu, look is there, by which a letter can become lopaha. What letter? It is pratyaya. Letter or a word, pratyaya. If the pratyaya becomes lopaha, then it is referred to by the name look, shlu, or look. Therefore, here lopaha referred to that which is other than pratyayas. Which is other than pratyayas. We will talk about that later in detail. So here lopaha is in general. If the pratyaya becomes lopaha means adarshanam. If the pratyaya becomes adarshanam, then it is referred to by another sanya. Another sanyas, many sanyas are there. The pratyaya become lopaha. So here it is a general. Adarshanam lopaha. And lopaha, if you see adarshanam lopaha, now we can, what we know, we can connect it to the tasya lopaha sutra. Tasya lopaha is a sanya pradesha where it is used. Not only there, algiyabhyam dirgha sutisya pruktam hal lopaha, there it is used. Lopaha shakalyasya, there you can see the usage of the word lopaha. Lopaha vyorvali, there also it is used. So in many places, the lopa is used. In all these places, if you see, the lopaha is referred to the disappearance of a letter or a word. If the pratyaya becomes lopaha, then we have another technical names for it. That we will see later. Okay, adarshanam lopaha. Then comes adirantena saheta. This is the pratyahara sutrani. This is the pratyahara sutra 1171. Adihi antena saha ita saha. So therefore, ita saha is that, therefore we should know what is it is. To know it, we should know what is Anusika is. Anyway, there we can put the sutras before, but anyway, I have written later. It's okay. Adihi antyena. Starting from the beginning up to the antyena, the antya letter is it letter. Itasaha, that is called pratyahara. Grouping of the letters. So this is the sutra by which we form the pratyaharas of the Vageshwara, from the Vageshwara Sutra. Not only that, even Supratyaya, Tinpratyaya, all these are formed by this, by this sutra only. This is a Pratyahara Sutra, important sutra, Adirantya Saheta. There the word ita is that ita is Tritiya Vibhakti of it Shabda. Therefore, we should know what is it. The it topic is covered in 1.3 section. 131 is Bhu Adayaha Dhatavaha. That we will see later. Dhatu Sanya is defined. 131. 132 onwards, it is Prakaranam. It is a beautiful, it's an intelligent, very ingenious topic. It Prakaranam. It, the technique, the idea of it, which Pani make use of, something it's very amazing. It has got many purposes. It's a letter. We call it as a packaging letter, or marking letter, or indicatory letter, by which many things are accomplished. Because of it letter, Numagama can come. idito num dhatoho, it letter. By it letter, you can define a dhatu as an atmanepadi. Anudata gitaha atmanepadam. You can define. And by it letter, you can bring in certain karya also. If it is a okara as a it letter, then when it shen follows, certain thing will happen. So like that, usage of it, you will see by it many things are accomplished. Sarvadhatukam pit causes guna. There pakara is with the letter. If it is apit, then guna is negated. So it is a very important topic, and it is something very amazing that the idea of it letter is, and that is defined in 1.3 section, starting from 1.3.2. So it upadeshe ajanasika it. It is the place where the sanya it is not only for one set of words like anunasika, upadeshe ajanasika. It is extended to many letters, many letters. Upadeshe ajanasika it, that is one. Then halantyam is it. Then adihi ngitu davaha, it is it. Shaha pratyasya it. Chutu it. La shaku it. All these are it. So it sanya is, it is not only for a particular sutra. It is extended to many sutras. So upadeshe ajanasika it. Here the word anunasika is used. So this is a sanya pradesha for anunasika sanya. Upadesha means that Sutrapada, Dhatupada, Linga and Shartham, iti, those Panchagrantha Upadeshe. And it is Anunasika is Upadeshe Anunasika. What Anunasika? Ach Anunasika, the nasalized vowel. The vowel which are Anunasika or it. Then Halantyam it. Antyam hal it. In the Upadesha, the Antyam hal it. Bearing exceptions. Not that all the letters are, not all the end consonants are it. For example, in the ayadi sandhi, I, av, etc. are the adesha. There yakara, vakara, they are not it letter. If they are it letter, then why should we mention that A will be replaced by I, and O will be replaced by av? Not required. We can just simply say Guna letter will be replaced by A. But there it is not yakara, vakara, not it letter. So not that everywhere it is it letter, bearing exceptions. The it letter should serve some purpose. Therefore, it letter has got some purpose to serve. If it doesn't serve purpose, then it is not it. So harantyam it. Then na vibhaktau tuspaha. Here vibhakti sanya is used. So vibhaktau vishaye tu tusmaha, tu referring to Tavarga letter, sakara, makara, they are not it letter. Then this next one, adihi ngitu davaha. The adihi goes as anuvrutti up to 8. Adihi beginning, to do. The 3 letters, they get the sanya it. This you will see these 3 letters with the dhatu. So therefore this sutra 135, it is defining the letters need to do of the dhatus. These 3 letters which are at the beginning of the dhatu are referred to as it letter. These 3. From next one onwards, pratyaya starts. That's why shaha pratyasya. That order is important. The next one is shaha pratyasya adi comes anuvrutti. So adi shakara of pratyaya, it is it. pratyasya, shaha pratyasya adihi, it is shaha pratyasya adihi it. Therefore, the dhatu shna, the shakara is itar, not. Shna dhatu, ashta dhatu. Is it a it letter? Shakara is a it letter or not?
No. It's
Because it is not
dhatu.
it is a dhatu. Therefore, it is not. That is why shaha pratyasya starts. Therefore, adi in ituda bahas, it covers the dhatu, etc. We know dhatu, that's why I said dhatu. There may be in other places it is used, need to do, etc. Then shaha pratyasya onwards, it is pratyaya, shaha pratyasya. So adi shakara, adi chavarga, adi tavarga, then adi lakara, shakara, then kavarga letter, excepting this tadita pratyas. These are ita letter. Tasya kim bhavati, lopaha bhavati. Lopaha is 139. And what is lopaha? Adarshanam lopaha. 1160. Therefore, this is the connection. So this is it prakaranam. It prakaranam, which is the successive sutras which we have covered. Halantimita na vivakto tusmaha adihi nitodavaha shaha pratyasya chutu lashakvatadite tasya lopaha. The next sutra in the same section, 138, Yatha Sankhyam, sorry, not 138, it is 1310. Yatha Sankhyam Anudesha Samanam. When the number of Adesha and the number of Sthanis are same, then they will replace respectively. That is what this sutra. This is a paribhasha. You can take it as a paribhasha. Sthanis are many, Adeshas are many. Our going to be replaced. They replace in order. That order is defined by this sutra, Yatha Sankhyam. Next sutra, Ukalaha Hach Rasva Dirgha Plutaha. What is Rasva? What is Dirgha? What is Pluta? Rasva is also a Sanya, technical name. Sanya, it is defined. What is Rasva? What is Dirgha? What is Pluta? Which is defined in terms of the Matra. It is in terms of Matra. Ekakalo bhavet Rasvaha, Dvikalo Dirgha Uchyate. Trikalastu Pluta Nyeya Vyanjanam cha Ardhamatrakam. So Rasva is that which have Ekamatra. Dirgha will have two matra. Pluta is Trimatrastu. Pluto Nyeyaha. And Vyanjanam has got half matra, Ardhamatrakam. Then Achascha. Achascha is another Paribhasha Sutra. 1 to 28. Which says the Adesha which is ordained by the mentioning of Rasva, Dirgha, Pluta will happen only for Ach. It is not, but it is given. Pani Maharishi has given. Achascha. Then the Swaras are defined. The Swara knowledge is important in the sense that Atmane Padam, Parasmay Padam context we have seen. Anudata Gitaha Atmane Padam. We are going to see again later that a Dhatu is called Atmane Padam out by the Swara of the Anunasika Ach. Anunasika Ach is It letter. By the Swara of the It Anunasika Ach, the Dhatu is defined as Atmanepadam. If it is Anudata, it is Atmanepadam. If it is not Anudata and doesn't have as It letter, then it is Parasmapadam. So the Swara knowledge is important. Not only in that context, in many places you will see. If you remember, Anudata Upadeshe, that Anunasikasya lopaha bhavati Jali iti pratyaya pare. You remember that rule we have seen? Anybody remember that?
Yes, Jay. Yeah.
Like that, I think 6437. There you will see the usage of the word Anudata Upadesha. In the Upadesha, the Anudata, in the Upadesha, here it is Upadesha referring to the Dhatu Pata. The Dhatu Pata, the Dhatu having Anudata Upadesha, it's and having Anunasika letter. That will become Lopaha when Jaladi Niti Pratyaya Pare. So, like the example, if you take this Gam Dhatu, what will happen to Gam? Gam plus Kta Pratyaya. Gam plus Kta Pratyaya will become
Gata.
Gata. How that, what happened to Makara? Makara becomes Lopaha. Katam Bhavati is that particular sutra. We will see that the Anudata, that Swara is used. The Gam Dhatu, if you refer to the Dhatu Pata, you will see it is in the Dhatu Pata, Upadesha. And the Swara is Anudata. So Anudata means that Akara is Anudata Upadesha. So Anudata Upadesha Dhatu, Gam Dhatu. When Jaladi Hiti Pratyaya Pare, the Pratyaya is Kta Pratyaya, which begins with Takara. Takara is a Jal letter. And it is a Kit Pratyaya. When follows, then what happens is Anunasikasya Lopaha Bhavati. Therefore, you get Gata. So there you can see the application of the Sanya Anudhata. Therefore, the Swara knowledge is important. Swara knowledge is not for chanting, because we have lost that chanting. We can, some people said it can be rediscovered. You can bring in, and they have brought in also. But anyway, the Swara knowledge even is required for these some sutras required. For that only I gave this example, this Atmanepadam and this Anudata Upadesha Dhatu having Anunasika letter, that becomes Lopaha Jaladi Kiti Pratyaya Pare. And therefore the Swara is defined here. Uchehi Udataha, Nichehi Anudataha, Samahara Swaritaha. So this Uchehi Udataha is that sound coming from the upper part of the vocal organ. That's called Uchehi. Uchehi should not be confused with the marking. It has nothing to do with the marking. Uchehi is adob. It is Urdhva Bhaga. Urdhva Bhagaiki Ucharyamanam. That is Uchehi. Nichehi Anudataha is Ado Bhagena Ucharyamanam. Samahara Swaritaha is equal proportion of the usage of the parts, upper part, lower parts of the vocal organ. That is Samahara Swaritaha. Should not be confused with the marking in the chanting in the mantra. Uchehi will be having no Udata. That is Uchehi Udata will be having no marking. Nichehi Anudata will have an underscore in the chanting. In the mantra, you will see it as an underscore. Samahara Swaritaha will have the vertical stroke on the top. This is it. People have this confusion. Uchehi Udataha is, it means they think Uchehi is therefore the vertical stroke on the top. It is not. Should not be confused with that. This is a common confusion. Then Rasvam Lagu. Rasva itself is a Sanya. That is given another Sanya, Lagu. And the word Lagu you will see, where you see Puganta Lagu Padasya, that you can see. That is the penultimate short vowel, Lagu. In other places also you will see the word Lagu is used. So Lagu is another name for Hrasvam. Hrasva is defined. It is Ukalaha Hach Rasva Dirgha Prutaha. That Rasva is Lagu. Then Sanyoge Guru. Okay, before that, Halonantaraha Sanyogaha. Hala Anantaraha Sanyogaha. Sanyoga is conjunct consonant. That is defined. Halaha is the pratyahara, covering all the consonants. Halaha. Anantaraha, na antaraha, no gap. Antaraha, na antaraha, anantaraha. So the consonants with no gap, it's called Sanyoga. Now here, you can see Nakara and Takara. Now Nakara and Takara, Nakara is followed by Takara and is followed by the vowel. So therefore, this is called Sanyoga, the conjunct concept. Suppose if we have Nakara, Dhakara, same Nakara, Takara, then Makara, if you take Makara, there it is Nakara plus Takara plus Makara plus Ayas. Now, which is the Sanyoga? Which is a Sanyoga in this?
Nakara takara.
Nakara, Takara, Makara, together Sanyoga, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Nakara, Nakara, Takara also Sanyoga.
Yeah.
This is one Sanyoga. Then Takara and Makara is also another Sanyoga. And the whole thing is also a Sanyoga. So everything, therefore, three conjunct consonants are there in this. Why this is required is, you will see in some context that the application of this idea, or even if you see these, if you take the ashtadhyay.com, 1 minute, let me open that. There, this is mentioned. Mahabhashyakara, in a particular context, you will see this is this grouping of the consonants as a sanyoga, it is used, and a certain thing happens. This is one Lorantara Sanyoga 117. When the context come, I will explain that. The one idea is given here that to be can note it. Yes. Yatra त्रीणि वा अधिकानि व्यञ्जनानि एकत्र रूपेण विद्यन्ते. Where 3 or more consonants. Ekatra. Ekatra is anantaraha. They are ekatra together, present. Tatra sarvesham militva eka eva sanyoga bhavati. There everything together is called sanyoga. They get a name sanyoga sanya. Uta or dvayogo militva. Combining two. Pratak pratak sanyoga sanyaha bhavanti. Combining pair two. They get sanyoga sanya. Iti asmin vishe bhashye vistareena charcha krita drishyate. In the Mahabhashya, it is discussed very elaborately. Sanyoga is discussed elaborately. So no topic is a small topic. Asmin vishe bhashyakarena ante केनापि प्रकारेण संयोगसंज्ञा क्रियते चेदपि न दोषाय भवति इति निर्णयः कृतः अस्ति. Therefore, by whichever manner you combine the consonants and give the sanyogasanya, that is not considered to be a defect. You can give. So therefore, if there are more than 2 consonants, you can combine the consonants and call it as a sanyoga. That possibility is there. That's what he says here. So therefore, 3 conjunct consonants are there. Together is one, nakara takara is one, and takara makara is another one. So this, why I'm saying this, this later we will see. Sakara is the adi of a conjunct consonant. I don't remember the example, but you can tell me what will happen. I don't know whether this rule I have taught you, or it may come later. For those who know, they can answer. Sakara at the adi of a conjunct consonant at the end of a padam are followed by jal. What will happen?
It becomes Visarga, right? Repa and then
Sakara at the beginning of a conjunct consonant,
beginning of,
and it is at the conjunct consonant is at the end of the padam, or followed by a vowel. Followed by a jal.
Lopaha bhavati. Lopaha.
Lopaha bhavati. That is, I think I have not taught you that sutra. It's going to come later. You will see the context will come. That is, it is kogo sanyogadyogo antecha. What's it?
No, you taught, I think.
No, Ji, we have not seen that. No.
No problem. We will see that. See, sanyogantasya lopaha we know. You see that sutra here, 23.
Yeah.
That we know.
Yogantas Lopa. Okay.
Yes.
Do we know or not? Yes.
Yeah, we know.
Sanyogantasya means sanyogantasya padasya. That is at the end of the padam, conjunct consonant is there. The last consonant will become lopaha. Sanyogantasya padasya and antya varnasya lopaha bhavati. Right? This we have seen. Now, lopaha comes as anuvrutti. Just see the sutra further. 29. What is there? Skoho sanyogadyogo antecha. That is, skoho is sakara or kakara. Sanyogadi. What is sanyogad? Sanyogadyogo is that. That is sanyogadyogo is. It is sanyogadyogo. What vibhakti? Sanyogadyogo antecha. Right? What vibhakti it is? Sanyogadyogo.
Shashti Bahuvachanam.
Bhagavachanam.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Dvivachanam, not Bhagavachanam.
Dvivachanam.
Yeah, Dvivachanam. Okay. Now, Sanyoga Adi. That is what Adi is what? Beginning. Beginning of what? Beginning of a conjunct consonant. Beginning of the conjunct. What should be there? Either Sakara or Kakara. Conjunct consonant having Sakara or Kakara at the beginning, and that ante, that happens to be at the end of a padam. The conjunct consonants happens to be at the end of the padam, and the conjunct consonant having Sakara or Kakara at the beginning. Or this word is followed by a, not a padam, this word is followed by a jal letter. Then the Sakara Kakara will vanish. That is what the sutra says. Understand?
Yes, yeah.
We'll see the sutra later. So, there, just an example I'll give like this. It's not a, suppose there is a word, something like that. It is, there is no such word. I'm just giving, this is my example. Okay, don't look for this. Suppose this is like this, a word is there. Now here, this is not a padam, because not the padam, it is, let us take it's not a padam, but it is followed by a jal letter. Now it has got conjunct consonant at the end. And the conjunct consonant having sakara at the beginning. Sakara is there, then followed by nakara is there, right? Now that sakara will become lopaha. That is what it says here. That sakara will become lopaha. Right? That's what the sutra says now. Now, that sakara, nakara is a conjunct consonant. Suppose if we have one more conjunct consonant before it. Now, three consonants are there. Takara, followed by sakara, followed by nakara. Now, three together is a consonant.
Yeah, Sanyoga.
And takara sakara is a conjunct consonant. And sakara nakara is another conjunct consonant. Because this is another conjunct consonant, sanyoga, and for this sakara at the beginning, therefore, applying this sutra, the sakara can be removed. It can go, vanish. This is this is what I wanted to tell you, that sakara. So don't think that sakara is not at the adi. No, it is at the adi, because you can take this as a particular combination conjunct consonant, right? Anyway, we'll discuss more on this. Understand what is this sanyoga, and sanyoga is any two letter or more than two letter, as Bhashyakara says, dvayoho militva atava sarvesham militva sanyoga sanya bhavati, right? So you will see the application of this sanyoga in those sutra, like stoho sanyoga adyoho antecha. Okay, this is only that this much to explain the sanyoga. Don't worry about that sutra, stoho sanyoga adyoho. If you have not seen, we are going to see that later. There we will see. There the sutra says sakara at the adi. Now here it is not at the adi. It is at the beginning, you may say. For that we say, no, it is at the adi when you take this particular combination. That is what I wanted to tell. Understand? That is the
Yes, yeah,
essence.
yeah. The combination. Yes.
Yes,
Mm.
that is the essence. Okay, don't bother your head with what is that sutra. That we will see later.
Okay. Okay.
So sanyoga is important. So anything, any combination is sanyoga only. I mean, vowel combination. Consonant combination.
Yeah.
Right. Not intervened by anything. Not intervened by a vowel or not intervened by avasana, the space. Then only it is. See, you may ask this. Suppose Patan Naraha is there. Suppose Nakara is there, followed by Nakara. It's a conjunct consonant. No. Alo, Alaha, Anantaraga Sanyoga. Here, Antara, the gap is there. The gap is what? The gap is the end of the padam, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, Antara is there, gap is there. Therefore, this is not conjunct consonant. Nakara at the end of the padam and followed by another padam which begins with a consonant. Therefore, cannot combine these both and say sanyoga. That is not sanyoga. That is why the word anantaraha is important. Na antaraha. Here, what can happen, if at all, if it is possible, sandhi can happen. That is different. Sandhi can happen if it is possible. Here, sandhi is not possible. Sandhi can happen. Okay. Sandhi is what happens in the case of Shutta Sandhi, where what does it happen in Shutta and Shutta? Suppose here, Nakara is there. Chandraha, suppose if we say. Nakara followed by Chakara. What else only happens? Shutta Sandhi happens. Here it is not conjunct consonant. It is Sandhi happens. In Sandhi context, Sandhi happens. Right? Okay. Therefore, that is Sanyoga. Then Sanyoge Guru. Oh, remember Guru. The context is Rasvam Lagu. Then Sanyoge Guru is required. For that, we should know what is Sanyoga. That is why Sanyoga Sanya is introduced. Sanyoge Guru. Okay, what is it? Okay, tell me what is Sutra. What does it say? Sanyoge Guru. Which is called Guru Sanya. No, which is called Guru Sanya. Dirgha is not Guru. Dirgha is Guru is going to come later. That's Sutra.
Yeah, later. Sanyoga is Guru.
Sanyoga is not Guru.
Aswa.
Sanyoge, what vibhakti this Sutra?
Aswaswara.
Sanyoge, what vibhakti?
Saptami.
Saptami. When Saptami is there, how can it be called a Guru? Saptami is that there in the Saptami,
Okay.
see, when Saptami is there, it means that which precedes the Saptami must be, it's what it's referring to, right? What
Yeah.
precedes is
Rasva
what the
vowel.
Saptami referring to, right?
Yeah.
When Sanyoga follows, that is not Guru. Sanyoga is not Guru. When Sanyoga follows, what? What does it follow? That is called Guru.
Mm.
The conjunct consonant follows what? That is called Guru.
Mm.
That is what it follows. It follows Rasvaha.
Rasva.
So the Rasva will get Guru Sanya when a conjunct consonant follows. Therefore, the vowel must follow. That's important. The consonant cannot get the name Guru. You can see the Sutra 1.4. In that Sutra, in the Rasvaha comes as Anuvritti. Okay, 1.4 section. Rasvaha comes as Anuvritti. So, Rasvam Lagu. Rasvam Sanyoge Guru. Okay, Sanyoga follows even though the vowel is Rasva, it takes a Sanya, Guru. Okay. So, therefore, when you see the word Sanyoge, you should know it is not. It is not that it is referred to. It refers to that which precedes, because Sanyoge is Saptami Vyakti, which means when Sanyoga
Is the-
follows. The Sanyoga
The
follows
consonant along with the vowel, right? Ji?
the consonant along with the
Along
vowel.
with the vowel.
The consonant is not Guru. Sorry, it's not Guru. The vowel is Guru. Okay. The Rasva is called Guru. See, for example, if you have a Nind Dhatu is a take Nind. Here it is Nakara plus Ikara. Then Nakara plus Nakara. This is Sanyoga. Sanyoga follows what? Rasva. Ikara. Ikara is Rasva. That Ikara is called Guru. Ikara gets Guru Sanya. So consonant follows what? Follows Rasva. Ach. That Rasva Ach gets Sanya Guru. Understand?
Yes, Jia.
It is not the consonant along with the vowel. The vowel alone is called Guru
Okay.
or
Only the vowel.
Lagu, etc. The Sanya Lagu Guru is only for the vowel, not for the consonants. Sanyogi, the year, if you see only the sutra, it's a problem. You have to bring the Hrasvam as Anuvritti. And also, even if you see the sutra, Sanyogi is Saptami Vibhakti. Therefore, it must be referring to something before that. What is that? That you have to bring in Anuvritti from the previous sutra 1.4.10, that is Rasvam Lagu. From that Rasvam, you have to bring in the word Rasvam as Anuvritti. So the Rasva gets the Sanya Guru. Okay. So you can remember the example. Ninda is a good example. Ninda Dhatu. Right? That there Ikara is Guru. Then Dirgham Cha. Dirgha anyway it's called Guru. This Rasva Lagu Dirgha, this will be useful in the metric, in the chandas, in the Anushtup chandas, Trishtup chandas, there are rules are there. This particular word, third letter must be a Guru. The fourth letter must be a Lagu. So there are certain rules are there. So when a verse is written, the verse must follow the rules. The rules of the letters, the vowels, which must be Lagu or Guru at a particular place. Then only it will fall within a meter. So it is not that Anushtup Chandas, the first line must have 16 letters. Not only 16 letters. Other conditions are there. That is, a particular letter in a particular place must be a Lagu or Guru. If you change, then it is violation. So there you will see the application of the word Lagu, Guru, etc. Okay. Then Alontyat Purum Upada. Upada is also a technical name. Upada. Al Antyat Purvam. Al is the Antya. Purvam is that the Purvaha is before. That is called Upada. Upada Sanya you will see in many places. Upada. Upada Yamscha Sutra is there. There you see Upada Sanya. Upada Yaha Cha. Another Sutra is there. Then Lagu Upada. Puganta Lagu Padasya. There also Upada is there. So Upada is another important Sanya. You will see. So therefore Upada is defined 1165. Then Lasya. Lasya is referring to the pratyaya, lakara, which are added after the dhatu. And therefore Lasya is just a Shashti Bhakti, just Stani. That will get the Adesha, Tip Tasdi, etc. in keeping with the Purusha and Vachanam. So Pratama Purusha, all these are Sanya been already defined. And Ekavachan, Dvivachan, all those are Sanya, that also defined. So in keeping with the Purusha and Vachanam, the Lasya, the Lakara, which is a Pratyaya, added after the Dhatu, we will get Adesha. What Adesha? Tibadesha. Lasya, Tibadeshaha Bhavanti. And Tip, thus G, all these are respective Adesha, in keeping with the Purusha and the Vachanam. So why Lasya is introduced? Because we are going to define what is Atmane Padam, Parasme Padam. Therefore, we should know what is Lasya. Pratipadikam of Lasya is La. The content of La is purely Lakara only. Lakara. So Lakara. And this will have Lakara can be Lat. It can be Lat, Lung, etc. All those things are added. The content of any Lakara, if you take, suppose if you take Lat Lakara, the content is Lakara plus A plus Takara. Sorry. Plus Takara. For example, if you take Lat Lakara, the content is only Akara. Akara is only content. Lakara plus Takara. Akara is the only content. Takara is the ith letter. Therefore, it's a tith Lakara. Sorry, the content is only Lakara. Akara is also ith letter. This is nasalized vowel. It's a ith letter. So the Lakara is the only content. Okay. So in any Lakara you take, suppose if you take Ling Lakara, Lakara plus Ikara. Ikara is nasalized. Then it's a Nith Lakara and having Anunasika H, which is an ith letter. So both are Lopaha. This Nakara is Alantyamit Lopaha. This Adranasika Ith is also Lopaha. The content is Lakara only. And the Lakara and the Lakara is the content of all the Lakaras. And the Lakara plus A is equal to La. And that Shashti Vibhakti is Lasya. That is what is given here, Lasya. So Lasya referring to Lakaras in general, any Lakaras. Dasha Lakaras are there. That Lakara is referring to. Tasya Sthane, these Adeshas will come. That is Utsarga. Right? So Lasya is just a Adhikara Sutra, 3477. It's an Adhikara Sutra. Lasya. And Tiptasji, all these are the Adesha. Lasya Sthani, Lasya Shashti Vibhakti, and the 3478, this is these are the Pratyas. So Lakara is a Pratyaya, the Pratyaya getting Pratyaya Adesha. Lakara is the Pratyaya. Lakara itself is a Pratyaya only. And the Pratyaya getting all this is Pratyaya Adesha in keeping with the Purusha and the Vachanam. Then in that, Laha Parasmai Padam. Parasmai Padam is defined. What is Parasmai Padam? Laha means Laha referring to the Tibadesha. Tip Adesha, Tip etc. Adesha, Tip Adi Adesha. Laha referring to the Adesha which comes in the place of lakara, that is tip, etc. The adesha which comes in the place of lakara is what laha is. Therefore, laha parasmaipadam says the tip, tasji, etc. All these are parasmaipadam. That is laha parasmaipadam. So everything is parasmaipadam? No, the next sutra says Tanganav Atmanepadam. Tanganav Atmanepadam. Tanganav is starting from the onwards, it is Atmanepadam. If it is Atmanepadam, therefore this has to be Parasmaipadam. Then you may ask why the whole thing can be Parasmaipadam and this enjoys Atmanepadam. Therefore, this part can be Parasmaipadam, Atmanepadam. We can have two sanya. No, we cannot have two sanya. Why? Because this is in the first chapter, fourth section. In fourth section, the first sutra itself says in this section, that is starting from the first chapter, fourth section onwards, up to the second chapter, second section, and you can have only one sanya. You cannot have two sanya. A word or the pratyaya cannot enjoy two sanyas. Only one sanya can be ordained for a thing. Two sanyas it cannot enjoy. Therefore, tip tasji up to mip vasmas can have only parasmaipada sanya, and ta atanja, this can have only atmanepada sanya. This cannot have parasmaipada sanya. Even though laha parasmaipadam is said, the whole thing is a parasmaipadam. By the next sutra, this part is given as atmanepadam. Therefore, this part loses the sanya parasmaipadam because of akadarat eka sanya. That is the first sutra of the fourth section. Important sutra. Here you can see akadarat eka sanya. You can see that it goes as anuvrutti. The Adhikara Sutra is up to 2 to 38. Second chapter, second section to the end. So it's 3 sections. The sutras mentioned in the 3 sections can ordain only one sanya for a thing. That is what it means. So, therefore, tip tasji up to vasmas parasmaipadam, and the later is atmanepadam. Okay, this is an important rule. Akadarat eka sanya. Only in this section. Here also exceptions are there. Even though yes, akadarat eka sanya is there, but in samasa section you will see the exception to it also. So this is something important to be noted. Akadarat eka sanya. And in this section only, this laha parasmaipadam is there. Tangano atmanepadam. It is defined here only at the end. You can see laha parasmaipadam 1499. Tangano atmanepadam. Laha referring to the adesha in the place of lakara, which is tip, tasti, etc. All the 18 pratyayas. They get the sanya parasmaipadam by the sutra 99. By the sutra 100, the tangano. Tam jata satam tam, they get atmanepada sanya. Therefore, it is removed from the parasmaipada sanya. So the left out is only tiptasti, siptastas, nipasmas. Those 9 pratyayas get the sanya parasmaipadam. So therefore, there is no overlapping of the sanya. That is what akadarat eka sanya says. Right? Understand?
Yes, Ji.
Yeah.
Okay. So this all these things we have seen, it is not something new, but just a quick revision. Akadarat eka sanya maybe that we would not have seen. That's okay. Just you know that if you will enjoy only one sanya, that is enough. That is the Adhikara Sutra 141. Then Tingaha Trini Pratama Madhyama Uttamaha we know that we saw. And Tani Ekavachan Jivachan Bhagavachanani Anekashaha. That is also sanya Ekavachan Jivachanam. Then another important sanya is Pratipadikam. What is a Pratipadikam? Arthavat Adatuhu Apratyaha Pratipadikam. Pratipadikam must be a meaningful. In the sutra, need not be a meaningful. The sutra also we are defined. There it need not be meaningful because it is sutra. We use many technical names. Therefore, it is it's Vyakarana related. Therefore, it is that it need not be meaningful. It can be any like gu and all is there. T is there. We define T. What is T? T is a technical name. In fact, in the context, in the Vyakarana context, it has got a meaning. What is T? Achontya Aditi. So that is a Pratipadikam. So it is not that it's completely meaningless word. Even in the Vyakarana, even though it is a Kritrima Sanya, T, for example, but still it means something in the Vyakarana. Therefore, it is Arthavat only. So therefore, you can take it as Arthavat. In Laukika, in Bhashaya, in that a word must be meaningful and it should not be a Dhatu. We have to define because Dhatu cannot be declined. But Dhatu can be, it is becomes declinable by adding in the Vyakaranam, it becomes declinable by adding Pratyaya. What Pratyaya is that? To refer to the Dhatu, we add the Pratyaya. Two Pratyas are there. What Pratyaya? In the Vyakaranam, to define a Dhatu, to refer to a Dhatu, we define. We add two different Pratyas. Remember that?
Shvi and Quip.
No, Ikshtipav Dhatu Nirdeshe. Ik and Stip. Right? Ik and Stip. Like in the Mandaka, Vashikara says, Upani Purvasya Sadehe Dhatoho Pip Pratyanta. Sadehe, what is Sadehe? Sadehe is a declension of the Dhatu Shadulu, right? Shadra Dhatu is declined. How Dhatu can be declined? It is not the Dhatu is declined, the Dhatu is becomes declinable by adding the Pratyaya, Ik or Stip. Therefore, it is not a Dhatu. Now it's a Dhatu with the Pratyaya. That refer only to the Dhatu. Sadehe, Sad plus Ik becomes Sadi. Sadi is a Pratipadikam. And it is declinable. So, declinable, it means it is the Sadehe, when you say it refers to the Dhatu. Shashti Vibhakti Sadehe Dhatu Ho. With the Shadla Dhatu. Upani Purvasya, Pratayantasya, Upanishad Shabdaha. Iti. So, to refer to a Dhatu, we can add this Pratyaya. Ik Pratyaya, Shtip Pratyaya. But in the Bhashaya, we cannot decline the Dhatu. Like that, we cannot decline. We can decline by adding Pratyaya, making into a Pratipadikam. That is what the Krit Pratyaya does. Right? Krit Pratyaya, many Pratyayas are the Krit Pratyayas are added and becomes a Kridanta. Kridanta is a Pratipadikam. Okay, so therefore, in the definition Pratipadikam, we have to say it should not be a Dhatu. A mere Dhatu is not declinable, we have to say. And a Pratyaya also not declinable. But in the Vyakaranam, it is declinable. Okay, in the Bhashayam, it is all these are given. Arthavata Adhatuhu Apratyaha Pratipadikam. Here, Apratyaha, important thing. Apratyaha is na Pratyaha Apratyaha. It is not a Pratyaya. But we said something more to it. What is that? The word should not be a Arthavata Adhatuhu. Then that Apratyaha means the word should not be a what? Should not be ending with the Pratyaya. Should not be ending with Pratyaya. So, the word should not be a Pratyayanta Shabda. Then it is a Pratipadikam. It means a word is a raw word. A raw word is called a Pratipadikam. It should not have any suffix added to it. That is what Apratyaha. Apratyaha is na Pratyaha, that is Pratyaya is Pratyayanta. We supply. We add Pratyayanta. The Shabda should not be a Pratyayanta Shabda. Should not be ending with the Pratyaya. But the next sutra says Krit Adita Samasascha. We extend that we not extend, we regulate it. We say that Krit Tadita Samasascha, that Pratyanta we said, that Pratyaya can be a Krit Pratyaya or Tadita Pratyaya or Samasanta Pratyaya. If the Pratyaya is Krit Pratyaya, Tadita Pratyaya, Samasanta Pratyaya, then also it becomes a Pratipadikam. So other than these Pratyayas, other than Krit Pratyaya, Tadita Pratyaya, Samasanta Pratyaya, Pratyanta Shabda cannot be called a Pratipadikam. You understand? Suppose you have Patati. Patati,
Yes.
Patati is what? Patati is a Shabda. It's a Kriya Padam, we know. Right? It's a Kriya Padam. Patati. Can we decline Patati? Is it declinable or not? To be declinable, it must enjoy a Sanya. What Sanya?
No.
Pratipadika Sanya. To decline, the word Patati must enjoy Pratipadika Sanya. But what is Pratipadikam? Arthavat. Is Patati Arthavat or not? Is Patati
Yes.
Arthavat? Yes, it has been meaningful. It's a dhatu. No, it's not a dhatu. It's a derived from a dhatu. It's a padam, kriya padam. It is not dhatu. Therefore, arthavat adhatu. Now, apratyaya when we say, is it a pratyayanta or apratyayanta? It is pratyayanta. What pratyayanta? Ting pratyayanta.
Oh, yeah.
Therefore, it is not a pratipadikam. Otherwise, what will happen? If apratyaya, that is apratyaya, we have to see that pratyaya is pratyayanta. We have to extend that. Apratyaya is not only the pratyaya, that should not be ending with the pratyaya. Okay. That should not be, the word should not be ending with the pratyaya. Because mere pratyaya, we are not going to decline and use it in the language. We are going to use the word, and the word should not be ending with the pratyaya. So apratyayanta. But patati is a pratyayanta shabda, pratyayanta word. Therefore, it is not a pratipadikam. If apratyaya is not there, then patati also becomes declinable. Therefore, it's a problem. Therefore, the apratyaya is important, not a pratyayanta. So here think pratyaya is used. Therefore, it is not a pratipadikam. Suppose if it is krit pratyaya or tadita pratyaya, samasanta pratyaya, then it is pratipadikam. That is what is defined in the next sutra. The pratyaya should not be a tin pratyaya or other pratyayas. If other pratyayas are there, what are the pratyayas allowed? The pratyayas can be either krit pratyaya, tadita pratyaya, samasanta pratyaya. That is, the shabda can end with the krit pratyaya, tadita pratyaya, samasanta pratyaya. Only these three pratyayas are allowed for a shabda. Then that shabda is called it's also called a pratipadikam. That is what these two sutras defined it. These two sutras gives a complete definition of what a pratipadikam is. A pratipadikam must be a meaningful, should not be a dhatu, should not be ending with the pratyaya other than krit tadita samasanta. That is what the complete definition of what a pratipadikam is. Right? The pratipadikam is a sanya. It is used where it is used. You can see in many places it is used. In one place where it is used is, that is the connection what we have here. That is ni ap pratipadikat. Ni ap pratipadikat. It is a adhikara sutra. It says all are in Panchami. It says ni ap pratipadikat parasya kim bhavati su aujas amaujas tabhyam. All these pratyas. Pratyas, they follow that. They follow what? They follow pratipadika. Therefore, pratipadika sanya introduced first, and the pratyas are added after the pratipadikam. And they become a padam. How does it become a padam? By what sutra? Suttingantam padam iti. Okay. So up to this, we can mark it. So it's a revision. In fact, the whole thing is it's a, not in detail. It's a quick revision, but only up to this much we can do today. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Please remember all the, at least the content, the essence of each sutra you remember. If possible, the location of the sutra you remember. The location, where it is located, which adhikara, which section, right? And along with the anuvritti. When you remember the meaning of the sutra, naturally the anuvritti also you will be remembering, right? Even
Yeah.
it has to come from somewhere from the preceding sutra. Okay, so any doubts up to here?
See, this one
The
doubt.
32, last one. Can
Hmm.
explain a little bit.
32. 32 is a Adhikara Sutra. Okay, it is in Panchami. So when something is Panchami, what will happen? The Karya will happen in that which follows, right?
Okay.
Either the Karya must happen or they are going to add Pratyaya to it. They are going to add something to it. Here there is no Karya. Here the Pratyas are going to follow. Follow what? That which is in Panchami. So, Ni, Aap. Okay, Ni, Aap is a Strilinga Pratyaya. Don't worry about that. That we will see later. To convert a Pratipadikam into a Strilinga Pratipadikam, we add either Ni Pratyaya or Aap Pratyaya. Here also, the word Ni referring, it's a Dirgha. Okay, Ni referred to, there are three Ni other. One is Nish, other one is Neep. All these things we will see later in the Strilinga Prakaranam. Then next one is Neen. Nish, Neep, Neen. Similarly, the Aap Pratyas. The Aap is there. There are three Pratyas, Strilinga Pratyaya. One is Tap. Other one is Shap. Other one is Dap. The content is Aap. Takara is Italata, Chakara is Italata, Dakara is Italata. Content is only A. Okay, in all. So, but we use, but there are three different pratyas are there for specific purpose. The Italatas are there, therefore three different pratyas. So, in short, Ni referring to E and Aap referring to A. Okay. So, Dirgha Ikara, Akara. That is what Ni and Aap. Those are the pratyas added to convert a Pratipadikam. So those are the pratyas added to convert a Pratipadikam into a Strilinga Pratipadikam. Then Pratipadika, that's a Pratipadikam in general. After which, that is the meaning of the word Panchami. That is what the Panchami means here. That is what the Panchami means here. After which what? After which the pratyas are added. What pratyas? Suhojas, Ammojas, Tabhyam. These pratyas are added after. After this Ni, A or Pratipadika. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Sangamata, what's your doubt?
No, there are about that lagu. Rasvam vowel is called lagu. Then Rasvam vowel before the consonant is called guru, and the Dirgham vowel before the consonant is called guru, right?
Dirgham is guru. That's all. Not Dirgham before the consonant. Any long vowel is called.
Yeah, Dirgha vowel, right?
Dirgha vowel need not be followed by a conjunct. Dirgha is called guru. Dirgham cha. Where is it? Here.
Okay.
Rasva.
It doesn't refer the vowel.
Dirgha referring to the vowel. Dirgha is called guru.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any condition like when followed by a conjunct con. Whether it followed by conjunct or non-conjunct. The Dirgha is always called guru. Whereas the Rasvam is
need not be followed by the Sayogaji.
It's there, not there. You can see there the screen. Where is the Anuvritti? The Rasva is get the Sanya Guru when followed by a conjunct consonant. Whereas a Dirgha enjoys a Sanya Guru only. Always Dirgha will be a Guru. Long vowel will be called Guru. Rasva vowel will be called Lagu. And the Rasva vowel can be called Guru when it is followed by a conjunct consonant. right?
Mhm.
The Rasva only get a Sanya Guru. Therefore, it is no more Rasva, in fact. Okay. Because it gets a Sanya Guru, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, it is, and also you see, it is an Akadarat Eka. That is why this Adhikar is important. Akadarat Eka Sanya. Even when I say the Rasvam will get a Sanya Guru, in fact, it is not Rasvam. Because only one Sanya it can have. For you, I mean, to define, we say Rasva. I mean, for explanation, we say that Rasva will get Guru, but it is no more Rasva then. It is only Guru only. That is why Akadarat Eka Sanya is important.
Okay.
A short vowel is called Guru. A short vowel is called Guru when followed by a conjunct consonant. A short vowel is called Lagu. If you do it, say it in English, it's fine. See, a short vowel, Rasva is short vowel. A short vowel is called Lagu.
Yeah.
A short vowel when followed by a conjunct consonant is called Guru. And a long vowel is called Guru. That is what the three sutras says.
It doesn't have any condition. Either it may be before
Yes.
or
No condition. Nothing, no condition. Dirgha, the long vowel, is always called Guru.
Okay. That's what I wanted to ask. Let's see. Yeah, understood.
See, it's very nice, the section here. The Rasvam is called Guru when I say, then it loses the Rasva Sanya. It's no more called Rasva. That is what Akadarat Eka Sanya does. So now you understand what is Akadarat Eka Sanya, why it is important. Eka Sanya Eva. See, you can remember this as example for Akadarat Eka Sanya. One is the Rasvam Guru. Second one is that Atmane Padam, Parasme Padam. This is very the good example. Take two good examples to remember. Akadarat Eka Sanya.
Yes.
And similarly, that Pratipadika Bhasanya also another example, good example. That is also there in the same section 1417. You can see just below that. Suadishu Asarvanamastane Padvini, we are going to see this. Yachibham. Suadishu Asarvanamastane. What is it's called? Padam. Yachi is, that is also Asarvanamastane. That is the pratyas which are Asarvanamastana pratyas, like what Su, etc. They are called Padam. That is what Su Adishu Asarvanamastane Padam says. And within that, the pratyaya beginning with Yakara or Ajadi, they get a Sanya, Bhasanya. Therefore, the Asarvanamastana pratyas beginning with Yakara or Ajadi, will they get Padasanya? No. Why? Because it is in Akadarat Eka Sanya. It is in the section Eka Sanya section. Therefore, that Shabda, the Pratipadika, the Anga can have only one Sanya, either Padam or Bha. It cannot have both. Another very good example. Understand?
Yes, Jia.
We are going to see this Sanya later. It's going to come. So three very good examples are there in this section to remember that Eka Sanya Adhikara. One is this Padam Bha Sanya, Atmane Pada Parasme Pada, then Lagu Guru. In fact, this is the best example because we use it most. That's that Lagu Guru and all we don't use much. But this is we use Basanya, and since we are saying Subantam, therefore this is a very good example. Okay, so we stop here. Any doubts? Further doubts?
No, Ji.
Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. You can write the one-line explanation for each sutra for your understanding. Only just one line, so that you will remember what the sutra means. Just one line, a translation or your understanding. One line is enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yes,
one
yes.
word is also enough. So that you can remember the sutra. You're trying to remember so many things, then you will not remember the sutra.
Mm.
Just one
Yes,
line.
yes.
Yes, Ji.
Yes.
Yeah.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
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 Dhanyawad, Ji.